What is space debris? All the things that people have made and put in space are called space debris. These objects are mostly made up of pieces of machinery that are no longer working. People also call it space junk. Thanks for joining Dynamic Earth Learning. Our content covers interesting Earth science, conservation, and sustainability topics. Visit our website dynamicearthlearning.com for teacher resources, videos, and e-learning courses. Facts about space debris. There are hundreds of thousands of space debris in orbit. When something is in orbit, it goes around another object. For example, the Earth orbits the Sun. Space debris can vary in size. Some are big while others are small. Experts estimate that there are millions of space debris that are less than 0.4 inches. Thousands of space debris range between 0.4 inches and 4 inches. The pieces of debris in space float several thousand kilometers above the Earth's surface. Many of these objects can be found in low Earth orbit, 1,250 miles above the surface of the Earth. These objects move all the time because of gravity. A lot of space debris moves quickly, up to 17,500 miles per hour. Pieces of debris floating in space can be a threat to space stations and satellites. Where does space debris come from? Humans are the main source of the space debris problem. It is possible for things to be left in space during space missions, either on purpose or by accident. It can become space debris if something is thrown away in space. 1. Spent rocket bodies. Astronauts can only travel to space using rockets. Space rockets have powerful engines that allow them to lift off from the ground and escape the Earth's atmosphere. The engines of space rockets are powered by a special type of fuel. This fuel is called a propellant. Liquid nitrogen is the commonly used fuel in space rockets. The propellant is stored in tanks called stages. Each stage carries a specific amount of fuel that is used to propel the rocket. Stages, or fuel tanks, separate from the main rocket when they run out of fuel. At high altitudes, rocket stages that are thrown away may drift away into space, becoming space debris. Also, the stages can go off in space, causing more debris to fall. 2. Damaged artificial satellites. An artificial satellite is any object that has been deliberately placed in orbit. As of September 2021, there were about 7,500 active satellites in space. Satellites are important parts of the Earth's communication system. Signals are sent and received by them from cell phones, computers, and other communication tools. Sometimes satellites in space can go wrong. There are a lot of different things that can cause this. They could be hit by the debris that already exists in space, and they could also have their systems fail. Satellites that have been damaged are often left in space after they have been damaged. Satellites outside of Earth's atmosphere can stay there for hundreds of years as debris in the space around the Earth. These satellites can also smash into other objects, causing them to split into smaller pieces. 3. Anti-satellite tests. Several countries around the world have helped to make the number of space debris more than it used to be. There have been times when the United States of America, Russia, China, and India have intentionally blown up some of their satellites in the past. This was mostly done for testing weapons. Whenever missiles try to hit satellites in low Earth orbit, the process generates a lot of power. The fragments are sent farther into space, making a field of debris. Because there is no air in space, the debris that comes from explosions can travel at very high speeds. If they hit other things, more debris is made. 4. Missing equipment. Astronauts carry different pieces of equipment when going on space missions. The tools can be used for repairs on space stations. During spacewalks, astronauts can easily lose control of the equipment that they are using. In November 2008, astronaut Heidemarie Stephanician Piper accidentally dropped a tool bag during a space mission at the International Space Station (ISS). The bag had several tools, including grease guns, scrapers, and wipes. It stayed in orbit for about 8 months before re-entering the Earth's atmosphere. When it finally did come back to Earth, it burned up in the atmosphere. Not all equipment that is lost in space falls back to the planet's surface. Some may drift farther away from the Earth. Where will space debris fall? There is a good chance that some of the space debris that is in the lower Earth orbit will fall back down to Earth in a few years. Large pieces of debris that haven't been burned to ashes are likely to fall into the ocean. After a few years, space debris that is in orbit below 375 miles will fall back down to Earth. People who put things in orbit that are above 600 miles can stay in space for a long time. Space debris solution. How to get rid of space debris. In order to remove space debris, it's a lot of work to do. Equipment that can safely remove fragments without hurting the planet must be used in order to do this. Reusing rockets. There should be more thought put into reusing rockets. Often, rockets that can be used again end up back on the Earth's surface in one piece. This will keep space clean because there won't be any spent rocket bodies floating around in space. Technology has made it easier for aerospace companies like SpaceX to make space rockets that can be used again and again. De-orbiting. Deorbiting means taking a satellite out of orbit and pulling it back to Earth's surface. There are other ways to move space debris closer to the Earth's atmosphere. Satellites that are no longer useful should be taken out of space. When an object from space reaches the Earth's atmosphere, it burns up. Only small debris can be completely burned up, so a different method should be used to clean up bigger debris. Self-destruction. Scientists are now working on making satellites that can self-destruct when they are about to stop working. As the satellite approaches the end of its useful life, it will move towards Earth's atmosphere. Then it will burn up instead of becoming space debris. The satellite's onboard computer system will make sure it re-enters the atmosphere someplace it won't cause harm. Reducing orbital lifetime of space objects. Orbital lifetime is the amount of time an object in orbit spends in the space around the Earth. There are ways to speed up the natural decay process of a space object so that less debris is left in space. As a result, space debris won't build up in a single place. Space needs cleaning. Space pollution is becoming more and more of a problem. Objects of all sizes and shapes are thrown into space by humans, which makes debris fields. Most of the debris in space is caused by space missions. Communication satellites and space stations are at risk of being hit by debris, which can hurt them. Collisions in space can do a lot of damage to space stations because debris moves quickly. With time, space will be full of so much debris that it will make it difficult for people to go into space and explore. Thanks for joining us today. Consider following Dynamic Earth Learning for more Earth science, conservation, and sustainability topics. And visit our website dynamicearthlearning.com for teacher resources, videos, and environmental e-learning courses.